You mentioned you got to be good. Define good. So should you consider LOTO as your permanent home, close to retiring? How about LOZ? Check it out. You ever wonder what it's like living full-time at the Lake of the Ozarks?
And home maintenance at the same time.
Yeah.
You, like a lot of other owners down here, are inside of an HOA where a lot of that exterior maintenance is taken care of for you in docks and stuff like that. So you're in a villa that takes care of all that for you. A lot of people are in condos, and that's their benefit of being in a condo. They do get maximum time when they're down here.
Yep.
Versus a single family home residence on a lake, you get to do fun stuff on your weekends, like learn how to sink a no-wake buoy out of their dock.
Yep.
You worry about getting your ice heaters out in the wintertime when the weather turns really bad, and all the other stuff that goes with a home.
The reality is, and I've learned this, a lot of full-timers are actually tackling that stuff on the weekends because they don't need to rush out and boat on the weekends anymore.
Yeah, having a second home comes along with having a second home.
I guess the third one now is, you mentioned when we were talking about at the beginning, is that traffic. You know, there isn't a lot of traffic, as if you live here full time, you learn when traffic is. And I'll tell you exactly when traffic is the worst. Friday afternoons, by far. And when you're trying to rush down here, rush to the grocery store, fill up the refrigerator, and you're like, damn, this sucks. I can tell you, Jesse and I aren't out grocery shopping on Friday afternoon or evening.
We got the hack. You order them online and have them delivered to you.
You do that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, I don't do that. I drive my happy ass to Walmart. And
yeah, we save a lot more money just ordering online.
I believe it.
It'll be interesting this year with the bridge work going on in Jeff City. KC people don't have to worry about all that. St. Louis people, I think there's going to be a little bit more delays getting down here this year.
Yeah. When is that? Do you know when that's going to happen?
It was on a Lake Expo news article on it. I thought it was this summer.
That doesn't even mention the road work that they've talked about doing in Camden, which is widening, and then of course talking about possibly adding in a bypass.
Yep.
But I have not heard any updates on that.
That's not going to be before 4th of July.
Or maybe even 2025.
Or 26.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. But it's in the cards, and they keep talking about it. Sure. And if you don't know what we're talking about, if you're familiar with Camden, they're talking about, first of all, they are widening. That's already in the works. That's happening. Like before the square.
Yep.
They're talking about putting a bypass in that runs behind Walmart.
Yep.
Because if you've ever noticed, there's a lot of tractor trailers that have to cut through Camden. That is an artery, a major artery.
Yep.
Getting 54 to 5. And so putting in a bypass so you can just cut and zoom right on out,
Yep.
which is also where there's a potential massive development that's in the talks, in the works.
Yes.
For those not in the know, there isn't much to know yet other than would double the size of Camden.
Yes, it would be very innovative and very interesting,
Yeah.
and it would put Camden on the map.
If it's not already, and you're right, to the point, and by the map, I can only guess you're talking about some of the infrastructure they're talking about, like data mining, attracting the Amazons, the Facebooks.
Some of the technology that would
Microsofts.
go into building that subdivision is very innovative.
Yeah, and it would literally be like a city.
Yes,
Yeah.
it'll be a city all of its own. So yes, if you're going from Osage Beach west into Camden, when you go up the final hill before you get to Walmart, it has been a major congestion point from all the stoplights because there is the new freeway bypass that bypassed 5 going into Lebanon, but now that's just added more stoplights, more congestion, especially when the amphitheater has some events going on.
The amphitheater is another thing. Yeah, I mean, I think really to summarize this topic, as someone who's currently living the change and now just feeling because you don't really feel it in the off season, you feel it in the season.
Sure.
And there are two things I would say to it. A, summers are completely different when you live here. And so far, I would say in a very good way, in my opinion. Again, because I don't have the stress. I don't have the stress of rushing out to get on my boat. I don't have the stress of, oh man, Memorial Day. It's come and gone. The weather was terrible. Now I gotta wait a whole other year. I'm not worried about that.
I'll just wait till Tuesday. You can go out after
Yeah,
dinner.
Exactly. Yeah, that's so awesome. And then the other piece I will add to that is it's not just summertime. It is the off season. And so if you have the luxury like me who does, well, obviously a lot of my business is now here, but for people like me who's also, the other part of my business is virtual.
Online, yep.
Is online. I tell you what, and we've talked about this many times, the off season here is awesome. I wouldn't say it's better than the summer. It's different. It's quiet. It's peaceful.
It's quieter. We're getting more population as year goes on in the off season.
Yep.
So there's more than what there used to be open in the wintertime to have options to do. I mean, off season here is not like St. Louis or Kansas City.
No. Well, there is no off season in a big city. It's just
Right.
365. Well, that is an interesting topic, and for anybody who's considering that, I tell you what, with perfect source, because you've got a newbie, you've got an oldie. We're not talking an age here, because I got Jesse in years, but Jesse's got me in a lot of years down here at the lake. So if we can guide you and answer your questions about what it's like to make that transition, is it worth it? Two of the best guys they could talk to, in my opinion. And this guy right here, of course, as we transition into the monthly market update, has all of the data, so you know exactly what position you need to be in, whether you're looking to buy a condo or a home.
Yeah. Interesting times. We're seeing a little bit of a change in the market dynamics. So
Let's get into it.
good stuff. For Lakefront Homes, May, compared to 2024, new Lakefront home listings saw a significant 28% increase May 2025, with 150 listings this year versus 117 last year. Overall, year-to-date new listings have increased by almost 15%, so a lot more options out there for buyers. In May 2025, the median lakefront sale price decreased by 4.81%, reaching $642,500. This is a decline from May 2024 median price of $675,000.
Have we officially shifted to a buyer's market?
I would say with our months of inventory, yes. But we're also coming from such a drought of the COVID season to trying to get back to a normal inventory market.
Yeah.
But now we've blown through that.
Is it safe to say, as a non-real estate agent, so I have no skin in this game, speaking to a seller, you really need to wrap your head around that top dollar opportunity has probably come and gone in the current season that we're in.
Correct. That top dollar opportunity came with very limited inventory.
Yeah.
And now we're coming out of that.
Yep.
So homes still are selling for sure. We are still getting few of them with multiple offers on it, but that's because they're very desirable properties and they're priced very well. So for my sellers, whenever we're talking about listing a home, when I go through my market comps, it's very important to look back through the history of that. We may see a home has been priced on the market for a year and they've had significant price drops and they're still searching to find the market. Getting more and more data, I feel like we had a delayed spring here at Lake of the Ozarks for buyers, and in just the past 3 weeks, we've had a really big uptick in buyer activity. May didn't get offset as much as what I thought it would, especially in the condos, and we'll get to that. June numbers
Cypress
That was
penthouses?
that was the
listed for 5.
it had been listed at 525 and then dropped down to 4.9 and ultimately sold at 4.1, which was like an 86% listed
Which
sale
one was
price
it?
ratio.
Was it the pimp one? Was it the
It
better
was the,
one?
it was the front one.
Okay,
It was the
yeah.
creme de la creme over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Okay, sales for Lakefront condos down by 30 condos this May, with 42 condos sold compared to 72 condos sold last May.
Wow.
Year to date, we're down 18.6% in number of sales. The average days on market for condos increased significantly. From last year, almost doubled. This May, we're at 61 days on market. Last May, we were at 31 days.
So sorry for
So
customers.
if your condo's not selling out there, you're not the only one. It's been a tougher market for all condo sellers. Listed sale price ratio was down less than a full percent from last year. Interesting enough, 97.4%. So Lakefront Homes was at 95.5%. Condos were at 97.4%.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Considering the data tells a different, kind of different pictures.
Yes. Months of supply for condos is on a much steeper incline, moving up to 11.8 from 10.6 last month. And a year ago, we were at 6.9 months of supply. Yeah. Condos available by room numbers. 2 bedrooms available, 142, up 6 condos from last month. 3 bedrooms available, 239, up 15 condos from last month. And 4 bedroom condos, same as last month, holding at 28 condos. In total, there's 434 active condo
And
listings.
the 329 was the Lakefront Homes.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
before you summarize all that, you mentioned you got to be good. Define good. So you're in a condo complex, there's 5 other listings, 1 sells, why? What's good about it?
okay, so for one, updated. How updated is your condo compared to the competition? Boat slips. What's your boat slip size? Buyer may have a specific need, and that determines what condos they're actually looking at. And then the other one is going to be your price. How competitive are you with the market that you're in?
Okay.
So the best condos with the best price sell.
So in other words, if you're not updated, you fully should expect to underprice the updated one, otherwise you are not selling.
Yeah, I mean, the market's going to devalue the lack of updates. And so your price needs to reflect that buyer devaluation. And in a moving market where things are trending down, you can't shoot for the moon.
Yeah.
You have to be very realistic. And this is where I go much more in depth than what I have in years past at looking at pricing trends for our comparables, for not only where to price, but then also as a buyer, where to make a strategic offer at. So to summarize, for Lakefront home market has managed to stay fairly resilient this year compared to condos. While the number of sales are down by 17 homes, we've still seen an increase on average sale price by over 5% to $813,005. Inventory levels has risen to June 2020, not June 2016, June 2020 levels, and months of supply continue to increase, showing the disconnect between the amount of sellers versus the amount of willing buyers. Even though we've had fewer sales, the sales have been larger than last year. The Lakefront home market in dollars traded has only contracted by 2.3%. For condos, serious headwinds continue to blow in the face